Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, August 12. If you're watching live on Monday, August 12, you can call in with comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. Our next regular meeting is in 2 weeks on Monday, August 26. Work session at 7, regular session at 8. We began our evening in work session with various subjects with Superintendent of Public Works Jeff Econom, as well as our police chief and lieutenant talking about their vehicle needs, talking about Jeff's work, about reorganizing Memorial Plaza as we anticipate the project to close the slip lane and revise the streetscape along Manville Road. Come September, we'll have more to show you about what that may all look like. But a short version of a longer story is that we have a phasing plan that will sustain the use of parking at some of the parking at the northern end of Memorial Plaza in the interim during the construction project. Couple of other announcements to make. One is a further shout out to the folks that organized and ran the Pleasantville Music Festival. I commented about that last time. Now a month or so past the music festival, but I think that the results are trickling in, and the bottom line is it was a very, very successful day, due in very large part to the crew of folks led by Bruce Figler, the executive director, and his senior volunteer staff, as well as the folks on the third floor and everywhere else in the village. Jeff's group over at DPW, an amazing cast of characters, the Parks people as well. Everybody pitched in and ran what I think by all accounts was one of the smoothest days of the year. Shout out to Mike Baranowski, who happens to be here tonight. We don't often get him, but he's here to talk about fleets. He's the sign man for the music festival, so if you got to and from Pace, you can thank Mike for it. See, I don't get very many opportunities, but here you are, so, and a well-deserved shout-out. We're obviously in the dog days of August. Farm market continues to be vibrant on the weekends. Corn, tomatoes, et cetera, have rolled in. I think the pool is having a successful season with both the day-to-day activities of the pool. Day camp has now finished, right? We had a successful year with day camp. Are you able to report about the swim team? Is that still?
No, that's no longer my
he's
brief, sir.
He's aged out.
I've aged out of some.
That's what happens when you have a kid
the
second kid about to go to college. So I did want to give a shout out, following up on an email that was sent out to the community garden list by Dave Juros, honoring 2 young men. One of them, Steve Lord's son Sam, and the other Devin Juros, who was the person who, as a middle school student, as a 12-year-old, had hatched the idea of a community garden. So Devin's role in this was absolutely central at the beginning of it. And Devin and Sam are both about to head off to college. Sam to Pitt, Devin to Brown. And as we often say to young people who have done such a good job for our community, that we are willing to let them go for 4 years, even a few more if they have some other plan. But we expect them back to continue to do the good work. So congratulations to Sam Lord and to Devin Juros for the legacy they leave, and congratulations to this guy for having brought up a young man who is worthy of that kind of praise.
Thank you.
Anybody else have other stuff to report? All right. With that, we will head to our resolutions, number 201. Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign the 2019 to 2024 municipal snow and ice agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Same old, Eric?
That's correct. Yep, we contract with the state, as Jeff can attest to plow some of their roads in the village, and they compensate us according to a formula.
Comments, questions?
It's a longer term agreement than normal, is that true? Isn't it usually annual?
Are they usually? I've seen 3 years. It's pretty typical.
Cool.
3 or 4 years.
Cut down on the resolutions.
And
Yeah.
the paperwork.
It's an effort to lock in the price in case there's inflation.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 202, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the meeting held on July 22nd, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or corrections on the minutes?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 203, David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves a request from Sarah and Edward Gorlowski, 90 Sunnyside Avenue, to hold a block party and thereby close Sunnyside Avenue between Clinton Street and Meadow Lane on Saturday, September 14th, 2019 from 1 to 8 p.m. with a rain date of Sunday, September 15th, 2019 from 1 to 8 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sunnyside, like so many of our neighborhoods, has a great and tight group and an annual great party. All in favor? Aye, motion approved. 204, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the waiver of penalties and late fees associated with the following non-resident water accounts as of August 12th, 2019, with the requirement that all past due water consumption charges are paid by May 31st, 2020. Water account 150-601-061, penalties and late fees of $692.33, and consumption charges of $2,472.59, and water account 161-231-013, penalties and late fees $3,649.30, consumption charges of $4,744.39.
Is there a second?
Second.
So both of these are the subject of extended disagreements between the water customers and the village, and based on extended discussions, we believe the consumption charges are fair and need to be paid, but based on the disagreement and the details of same, we propose to waive the penalties and late fees with the note that if those past due accounts are not paid in full by May 31, 2020, the penalties and late fees would be reinstated, including any penalties and late fees that would have accrued from this date forward.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 205, Joe.
Whereas the Village of Pleasantville Board of Trustees desires to allow electronic transmission of proposed local laws to members of the local legislative body, and whereas the New York Municipal Home Rule Law, Section 20-4C, permits municipalities to transmit proposed local laws electronically to members of the local legislative body upon adoption of a resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby authorizes electronic delivery of proposed local laws to members of the local legislative body.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are we getting pagers?
That's
or-
delivery to us.
Yeah. Right. So Keenan Bean, the village attorney, advised us to pass this resolution formally. Most municipalities have been doing this for a very long time without having a resolution passed. So
Just to
best
button
practice.
it up.
Yeah.
All in favor of it, and
Aye.
it does not involve any probes established into our temples.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. 206. Steve.
David.
David, sorry.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the hourly rate of $24 per hour for Police Department part-time typist Lisa Dolce with a retro effective date of June 1st, 2019, to include retroactive adjustments of prior payrolls.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is consistent with the budget discussion.
That is correct.
And we have a memo to that effect. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 207. Now it's Steve.
Yes. Resolved that the check register dated August 12th, 2019 for fiscal year end 2020, covering check numbers 94156 to 94419, are hereby approved as listed below. From the general fund, the water fund, the capital fund, the refuse fund, and the trust fund, a total of $558,461.30.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions about the check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Joe, 208.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to advertise for bid for carting services, food waste pickup and disposal.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is
For October?
the composting project.
Correct, yep. So we have bid specs provided to us from the Village of Scarsdale. We have their blueprint, so we're updating to fit Pleasantville, and we're looking to go out to bid as soon as possible. We're hoping we get it right the first time around and get a good quality bid, but it also builds us in time. If we have to rebid, we do have time before
Okay.
October.
And is it imagined that the suppliers that currently do this for Scarsdale, Bedford, Mamaroneck may be interested in doing it for us?
Very much so.
All right. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. As we have commented before, and as was the subject of a recent Examiner article, the intention is to have this up and running sometime in October, right?
That's correct.
All right, more on that soon. 209, Joe.
No, David.
I'm just losing track of the sequence here.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to execute a revocable license agreement with Andrea and Salim Yahai, 41 Skytop Drive, to permit a fence in the village right-of-way.
Is there a second?
Second.
We met with these residents this morning, this evening in work session. This is an agreement that essentially legalizes their right to replace a longstanding fence that is actually in the right-of-way, but to legalize it with a formal license agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. Any new business? Any comment from the public? There isn't any public here. 769-1677, here's your last chance. Monday, August 12, going once. All right, with that, is there a motion to adjourn briefly in work session, but ultimately to executive session on a matter of personnel?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good evening, thank you. Short August meeting, we'll be back in 2 weeks.